done us a good favor by pointing out those sort of three pillars, as you mentioned: leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurship. I was also intrigued by your commentary on the question of market failure. I think I agree with market failure is probably a very good point, an important point to address. I would be interested in knowing more, perhaps during the discussion, about whether market failure really is the main obstacle here. Because if we divide, the society to the haves and have-nots, it is true that the haves would have easier access to ICT instruments like any quality or premium product, more than the have-nots. But it is not necessarily the case that all the haves would actually go for that kind of product necessarily. So it is something I think that needs some reflection, and maybe we come back to it during the discussion. Moving now to the next speaker, Dr. Raed Odeh, Executive Director, International Relations and E-Learning in the Talal Ghazali College of Business. Dr. Raed, you have the floor.
Actually, I will put up my presentation in English, and stand up because I have a PowerPoint presentation.
First, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me for this important conference, and I would like to thank the previous speakers for their excellent presentations. What I wanted to do in my presentation is actually to cover various things that I believe are factors towards the enabling of the information society. I don't want to go into the discussion of information versus knowledge society, because that was covered yesterday, and in any case, to get to a knowledge society, we have to have the information society first. I found that the following is a reasonable definition of information society that would lead to my presentation. Information society is a society in which the creation, distribution, diffusion, use, integration, and manipulation of information is a significant economic, political, and cultural activity. The knowledge economy is its economic counterpart, whereby wealth is created through the economic exploitation of understanding. I believe this is a reasonable definition of information society that I agree with now. To enable the information society, everybody has something to do, has a part to do, has a task to do. Starting from governments, ending up with national and international organizations. Now, what I will do now is to cover various things that I believe any country must do in order to enable or to transform their society into an information society. They are not ordered in any order of priority, and we can consider them as a basis of discussion in the next period. I mean, food for the thought, as we say. For example, I'll cover things that has to do with taxation, regulations, infrastructure, access, open source systems, etc. Now, for example, in the areas of taxation, in order to enable and encourage the building of information society, there should be no discriminatory taxation on e-commerce, for example. Maybe other things that can be done is to offer exemptions of value-add tax and custom duties on the import of ICT equipment, so that the infrastructure can be built at reasonable cost. In terms of regulations, obviously we need regulation that create a fair climate for stability, predictability, and fair competition at all levels, and also to encourage companies to actually make the needed investment in the areas of ICTs. ICTs, of course, stands for Information and Communication Technologies. An area, of course, that the previous speaker spoke about is the area of intellectual property and the need to balance, the need to protect inventors and companies with the need actually for the public, for the wide dissemination, diffusion, and sharing of knowledge. We have in the areas of ICT and information and knowledge, we have to actually offer that balance, because without it, we will not be able to actually do a good job at the enabling of information society. E-government. E-government and e-governance is a key component in any information society. And therefore, we believe that each country actually has to develop and adopt a very comprehensive e-governance strategic and action plans. And this is a must, and it does not exist actually in all Asian and African countries. So this is something that must be done, because it will actually it will provide what needs to be done in years to come. One thing that needs to be done also is the establishment of a private government network, internet for each government, for state agencies, government portal. There should be retraining programs in the government sector where employees and staff are retrained actually on the use of ICT, so that they'll be able to actually be up to speed on the information society path. E-commerce. We need an e-commerce legal framework that recognizes, facilitates, and enforces electronic transactions in Asia and Africa. For example, the issue that must be taken into account is the issue of signatures and electronic signatures that must be regulated. Probably we need to establish public procurement systems with the application of e-commerce. Private sector, of course, should lead the development of e-commerce through development of new services, innovations, and also participation in the creations of rules and open standards. We need to build the confidence in ICTs. We need to build the ICT trust framework. This includes information and network security, authentication, privacy. We need to provide consumers of e-commerce with the same level of protection as provided in traditional commerce systems, for example, security of transactions and payments. We need also to deal with spam and cyber security appropriately at all levels. The issue of human development that was talked about a lot today and yesterday. Obviously, we cannot have an information society without having the basic level of literacy and education, so that must be promoted first. Obviously, various countries in Asia and Africa have different levels of literacy, but I mean, there are also many places, many countries, and these two continents that doesn't have the needed level, so that's a very important first step, and probably with a special focus on girls and women. We need to promote the integration of ICTs in all stages of education, and we need to educate the public and eliminate computer and internet literacy through appropriate training programs and affordable training, of course. And also, I think those leaders, top officials who are interested with making the right decisions needs also to be trained on best international ICT practices. We need to focus on teachers and trainers themselves. We need to train the trainers, like I say, on ICTs. And that is concepts of training must be promoted. For example, continuous and adult education, good training, distance learning, e-learning, online learning, all